Here are today's top stories. The government breaks ground for the Metro Manila Subway project. Senator Antonio Trillanes faces criminal charges for inciting to sedition. The Army condemns the burning of a hydropower plant in Oriental Mindoro by the New People's Army. And President Duterte plans to tap Miss Universe Catriona Gray as the country's tourism ambassador.
Good day, I'm Rom Dulfo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. One of the flagship projects of the Duterte administration's Build, Build, Build initiative breaks ground today. The Metro Manila Subway will be the country's first underground rail system once completed by as early as 2022. Here's our report.
Top officials led the groundbreaking ceremony for the Metro Manila Subway at its construction site in Valenzuela City. Mayor Rex Gatchalian welcomed guests led by Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea, Budget Secretary Benjamin Jokno, officials of the Department of Transportation, and other dignitaries. Transportation Undersecretary Timothy John Batan said the joint venture of Shimizu Corporation, Fujita Corporation, Takenaka Civil Engineering, and EEI Corporation will design and build the first 3 stations, tunnel structures, the Valenzuela Depot, and facilities of the Philippine Railway Institute. He said facilities will use disaster-resilient technologies which are tried and tested in Japan. For his part, Transportation Secretary Arthur Togade assured that the Metro Manila Subway will bring comfort and ease of travel to commuters. Partial operability is expected at Quirino Highway, Tandang Sora, and North Avenue stations by 2022. The subway consists of 15 stations traversing 36 kilometers from Quirino Highway to NAIA Terminal 3 in Pasay and FTI in Taguig. Trains can travel up to 80 kilometers per hour, shortening travel time from Quezon City to NAIA to about 30 minutes. Full operations with all 15 stations is expected in 2025, serving up to 370,000 passengers daily during its first year. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondo.
Malacanang says the Mutual Defense Treaty between Washington and Manila may be among the topics to be discussed during the upcoming visit of U.S. Secretary of State Michael Pompeo to the Philippines. Pompeo is visiting the country tomorrow to discuss issues of mutual interest as he pays a courtesy call to President Duterte and meets with Foreign Affairs Secretary Teddy Locsin. The Mutual Defense Treaty contains 8 articles requiring the 2 allies to provide aid in case of an armed attack against either Washington or Manila by an external party. The Department of National Defense first floated the review calls in December 2018 to make the deal more relevant to the region's changing security environment. Presidential spokesman Sal Panelo says other issues of mutual interest that may be discussed during their meeting include security and terrorism. The Bureau of Customs Port of Manila has resumed operations on Tuesday, 3 days after a fire gutted its main building. The operations of some offices, including the Assessment Office, were temporarily relocated at the BOC gym. The agency has created a special response team to assist those who have transactions at the port. The BOC urged clients to make use of their online payment system to avoid the long queues. Authorities are still conducting investigation on the cause of the blaze. The construction of the new Operations Center of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council has begun at Camp Aguinaldo. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana and DPWH Secretary Mark Villar led the groundbreaking ceremony for the new center. The 7-story building, worth 275 million pesos, is expected to be finished by 2020. It will serve as the administration building of the Office of Civil Defense, or OCD, and accommodate the offices under the agency. Malacanang looks into appeals to appoint an insider to head the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and Greenpeace opens the world's first purpose-built environmental campaigning ship. More on these and other news around the metro from Benj Bondo.
Malacanang says President Duterte will be looking for a new Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas governor who has integrity and competence. Presidential spokesman Salvador Panelo says they also expect the next BSP governor to continue the reforms pursued by the late Nestor Espinilla Jr. in the country's banking system. Two of BSP's deputies and three from the board of directors are the likely candidates to become the next BSP chief. Meanwhile, environment watchdog Greenpeace will open to the public its iconic Rainbow Warrior. It is the world's first purpose-built environmental campaigning ship. The Rainbow Warrior will be at the Port of Manila on March 2 and 3 for the open boat before sailing to Cebu on March 15 and 16. People interested in visiting the Rainbow Warrior must pre-register at the Eventbrite page, shipitback.eventbrite.com. In Manila, over 2,000 informal settler families living in Isla Puting Bato in Tondo, Manila are set to receive lands where they can build their own homes. This after the Philippine Ports Authority donated 5 hectares of land for housing to the informal settlers. The NHA will identify the qualified recipients while the City of Manila will help in the implementation of the project. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Bench Bondo.
Still to come, Senator Trillanes is facing criminal charges for inciting to sedition before the Pasay Metropolitan Trial Court. The Army condemns the burning of a hydropower plant in Oriental Mindoro by the New People's Army. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Ang Belgian government ang isa sa mga nagbibigay ng malaking ayuda sa iba't ibang non-governmental organizations na tumutulong sa iba't ibang advokasya sa Pilipinas. Nandito ang Philippine delegation para ipaalam sa gobyerno ng Belgium na malaking porsyento ng kanilang ayuda na pupunta sa mga organisasyon o front ng communist terrorist group.
International solidarity is a human rights framework, which I know EU and Belgium closely adhere to. And it's something which we would like to own ourselves. But it is a framework which is now being used by terrorists to get funding. They anchor their campaign for funds under a call for international solidarity. And I think EU and Belgium in particular are being taken advantage of. We do not want that to happen.
Ito yung pinaliwanag natin sa Belgian government at medyo nabahala sila kasi malaki din yung suporta na binibigay nila dito sa mga organisasyon na ito. And dahil dun sa ating engagement with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, naipaliwanag natin sa kanila na kinakailangan reviewin nila yung proseso sa pag-accredit or sa pagbigay ng suporta dito sa mga civil society organizations na humingi sa kanila ng tulong para sa magagandang advocacy sana.
Senator Antonio Trillanes is facing criminal charges for inciting to sedition before the Pasay Metropolitan Trial Court. In an earlier statement, Trillanes called on the military and the police to disobey the president's order, adding that Duterte will not be there for long. Prosecutors said his statement aims to instill a feeling of hatred and distrust toward the president and the government. The charge recommended a bail of 36,000 pesos for Trillanes. However, the complaint for a proposal to commit coup d'etat was dismissed for insufficiency of evidence. Meanwhile, President Duterte wants to have a subpoena issued against the mother of Trillanes. Estelita Trillanes is accused of involvement in irregularities as a supplier for the Philippine Navy. Moody's Investor Service considers both the rice tarification law and the amendment in the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Charter as pluses that will further strengthen the central bank's capacity. The rice tarification law, which is expected to become effective on March 5, is seen to help prevent a repeat of last year's inflation surge. Moody's expects that the increase in the volume of rice imports will diminish the price volatility of rice. Meanwhile, the amendment of the BSP Charter expands the central bank's supervisory oversight over non-bank financial institutions. The Charter amendment also gives the BSP authority to issue its own debt paper again, which can fine-tune liquidity management and improve the effectiveness of monetary policy. Personnel of the Naval Forces Western Mindanao rescued a distressed wooden-hulled motor launch with 7 crewmen aboard off Tawi-Tawi. NAVFORMEN Commander Rear Admiral Rene Medina says a naval patrol craft was on its way to Lamion Wharf when it spotted the sinking vessel identified as ML Jomong. The Navy Task Group Tawi-Tawi immediately launched a rescue and recovery operation for its 7 crew members and cargo. The vessel was towed to Bongao Tawi-Tawi Pier and turned over to the Philippine Coast Guard Station Central. ML Jomong was reportedly on its way to Bongao from Sitangkay Tawi-Tawi, carrying about 5,000 board feet of good lumber. The ship, however, experienced engine trouble and her hull was damaged by strong waves. The Philippine Coast Guard coordinates with the Bureau of Customs to look into the cargo of foreign vessels passing through the Caraga Sea route. The move is part of the investigation to trace the origin of the cocaine bricks discovered at sea. The most recent discovery was in Davao Oriental, where authorities recovered 39 bricks of cocaine. The last time foreign vessels reportedly came through the Caraga Sea route was in November last year. PCG Commander Captain Roy Echevarria says they are looking into the possibility that the drugs are disposed through local vessels. Beachgoers in Pangasinan are urged to be careful while swimming. Meanwhile, more than 500 patients are treated by a mining company's medical mission. More on this and other stories from the provinces from Janice Cave.
In Binmalay, Pangasinan, beachgoers and tourists are warned to be careful before swimming or diving in, following the first drowning incident recorded here over the weekend. Binmalay Police Chief Charlie Umayam says the beaches along Lingayen Gulf have an uneven seafloor, which is why it is advisable to seek assistance from locals before dipping into the water. Umayam reiterated the caution following the drowning of a 12-year-old grade 7 student at a beach in Barangay San Isidro Norte on February 24. In Oriental Mindoro, the Philippine Army's 2nd Infantry Jungle Fighter Division condemned the burning of the Santa Clara Hydropower Plant in Barangay Malvar, Nauhan. Over 20 members of the New People's Army reportedly raided the power plant and burned its facilities. The Army says the NPA attack was a violation of humanitarian law and has caused blackouts in Mangyan communities. In Surigao City, nearly 600 patients benefited from the 9-day medical surgical mission of Nickel Asia Corporation this month. The mission accomplished 3 major and minor operations on cleft palate and lips, hernia, ovarian cyst, hemorrhoids, cysts, breast mass, and other lump removals. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Up next, President Duterte proposes to tap Miss Universe Catriona Gray to be the country's tourism ambassador. El Nido in Palawan is chosen to host an international extreme sports event. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Ano ang tigdas? Ang tigdas ay isang nakakahawang sakit na karaniwang nakakaapekto sa mga bata. Ang sakit na ito ay dulot ng measles virus na kumakalat sa hangin. Pag hindi naagapan ang tigdas, maaaring magdulot ito ng mga komplikasyon na nakamamatay. Ano-ano ang mga sintomas ng tigdas? Lagnat na may mapupulang pantal o rashes, pamumula ng mata, ubo, sipon, pananakit ng katawan, panghihina at kawalan ng ganang kumain. Abangan ng mga bakunador o magpabakuna na sa pinakamalapit na health centers o vaccination post para makaiwas sa tigdas at iba pang sakit. Ang tigdas ay hindi basta-bastang pantalang. Ito'y mapanganib at nakamamatay. Kaya pabakunahan na ang inyong mga anak. Ito ay isang mensahe mula sa Presidential Communications Operations Office at Department of Health.
Sa boxing, sagot ko kayo. Pero sa laban ko ng tigdas, dapat magkasama tayo.
Pabakunahan ang inyong mga anak. Abangan ang mga bakunador o pumunta sa pinakamalapit na health center. Ito ang pinakamabisang paraan kontra sa tigdas.
Para sa inyo ang laban na to.
Knockout tigdas para lahat tayo ay ligtas.
The Tourism Department will continue working with Miss Universe 2018 Catriona Gray in promoting the Philippines as President Duterte seeks to tap the beauty queen as the country's tourism ambassador. Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat says Gray herself was excited in further promoting the country's destinations. Gray has vigorously promoted the country even before she won the prestigious pageant in 2018. She says promoting the Philippines is something she is very passionate about as the country has so much potential to share with the rest of the world. The DOT has been instrumental in Gray's introduction clip for the Miss Universe competition featuring the beauty of Palawan and Mindanao, among others. In our foreign news, Cambodia and Vietnam signed 5 cooperation documents to boost bilateral ties and cooperation between the two neighboring countries. Cambodian Prime Minister Samdech Techo Hun Sen and visiting Vietnamese President Nguyen Phu Trong took part in the signing ceremony after their bilateral meeting in Phnom Penh, Cambodia on Tuesday. The two leaders also pledged to further enhance bilateral cooperation in all fields, especially in economics, trade, investment, and tourism, and vowed to boost bilateral trade volume to $5 billion in the coming years. In sports, the Philippines gets to host the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series for the first time as the competition series goes to the now famous Minilok Island in El Nido, Palawan. The best cliff divers in the world will converge in El Nido from April 12 to 13 in the first leg of the Cliff Diving World Series 2019 season. Rhiannon Ifland of Australia opens her bid for a 4th consecutive world title in the women's division, while England's Gary Hunt looks to capture his 8th title in the men's division. The World Series also makes its next stop in another debuting city, Dublin in Ireland, on May 12, while another tournament will happen on July 14 in Beirut, Lebanon. Overall, 7 cities will host this year's World Series, capping the season in Bilbao on September 14. Summer is coming soon, and for most Filipinos, Baguio City remains the best destination for tourists. Janice Cave has a story.
With the scorching months of March, April, and May, expect thousands of Filipinos to flock to Baguio City to escape the searing heat. The city's cold weather, tourist spots, and summer activities continue to attract visitors. The country's summer capital is also known for its Panagbenga, or the annual flower festival, which highlights the city's diverse cultural heritage and unique environment. Panagbenga continues until the first week of March, when visitors can watch the float and street dancing parades. Other signature features of Baguio are its pine trees and highland treats such as strawberries and Cordilleran food. Meantime, private establishments such as the Baguio Country Club and Camp John Hay are launching their own summertime gimmicks, while traditional spots such as the Burnham Park and Mines View Park continue to draw in visitors. Baguio City is also a stopover for those traveling to other destinations in northern Luzon, such as Sagada, Bigan, or the Banawe Rice Terraces. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories.
The government breaks ground for the Metro Manila Subway project. Senator Antonio Trillanes faces criminal charges for inciting to sedition. The Army condemns the burning of a hydropower plant in Oriental Mindoro by the New People's Army. And President Duterte plans to tap Miss Universe Catriona Gray as the country's tourism ambassador.
Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Rom Dulfo. Good day.